We just began the day one presentation, and the presentation is focusing on designing social intervention. And this is the advanced training for multi-method and policy-oriented research brought to you by PASGA. The entire training is being powered by the Association of African Universities Television, that is AU Television. In the next 14 days, we will be exposing our participants to various models, topics, and critical subject that has to do with research advancement in Africa. Stay tuned and enjoy the best of our coverages.
Okay, before we talk about how the factors connect, I need to first tell you about the concept. So this is my concept, our concept in my group. We are assessing the design and impact of an apprenticeship-based entrepreneurship intervention for promoting youth employment in Nigeria. This is what my concept note was based on. Okay, so that's the concept. It's actually an evaluation project that just began. We just got funding from an organization, and the contract actually started in August. And we were just so fortunate that this training is coming at the beginning of the project, because the training is also a part of the execution of the project. So we are fortunate in my team. And so from that concept, okay, let me go back. We are assessing the design and the impact of an apprenticeship-based entrepreneurship intervention, which is meant to promote youth employment in Nigeria. So this is the course, the intervention. But the intervention is a basket. We are looking at a series of government policies that are meant to lead to the effect, which is promoting youth employment. So the basket includes a compulsory entrepreneurship training in universities, which the Nigerian government introduced a number of years back. So it is compulsory for everybody in universities to take a module in entrepreneurship. After that, when they graduate, there is a scheme in Nigeria that is called National Youth Service. Every graduate is mobilized to serve for 1 year. So at the beginning of the 1 year, it's a 3-week camp program that is military controlled. So all the mobilized graduates go there and they spend 3 weeks. So in these 3 weeks, there is this practical training that they call SAED. So everybody is exposed to practical training. This is a build-up on the theoretical training they got in school. So in addition to the theoretical training in school, you get practical hands-on training on how to do this, how to do this, how to do this. And when they leave the camp and they continue for the rest of the 1 year service, so these core members are exposed to apprenticeship-based training. So you are supposed to follow a craft master and then learn from them, throughout the remaining part of the service year. So this is a basket of the intervention. So for us, this is the course. And you also need to know that the design of this intervention is what we are testing. So, and we are also producing a nudge for these young graduates to really, really follow the apprenticeship training after the camp, which is voluntary. So we are trying to design a way to check the design, to make it kind of more friendly to the graduates so that they can be willing to follow it. And then there's the aspect of mentorship, where these graduates are connected to, in addition to their taskmasters that they are learning from, sorry, I said taskmaster, craft masters, they also are exposed to people who also tell them this is what it means to work in the private sector, to give them more motivation, more from more experienced people. And then there's also the financial support at the end of the training so that they can actually start something with the skills that they have got. So for us, that's the course, the intervention. Then the mechanism will include the knowledge that these graduates have gained, through the basket of interventions, and then the skills they have learned, with the confidence they have gained from mentorship, because the mentors are people that are successful entrepreneurs. So they will be talking to them from time to time. So they gain confidence. Okay, I can really go there to start something. Plus the empowerment that they get by, the equipment they give them or the money they give them to start up. So for us, this comprise the mechanism, and the outcome will just be youth employment. And that can be in two ways. He said that they self-employ, or they are able to compete with others in gaining decent employment. So for us, that's just the scheme of things. But in a nutshell, this is the course, the design of the intervention, and this is the outcome. But then, knowledge, skills, confidence, and empowerment that they gain will be the mechanism. Because if the program is there, the intervention is there, it doesn't automatically produce this if the people exposed to that intervention do not get the skills or the knowledge or the empowerment and the confidence. And then we also went on to say that the causal notion will be conjectural, because the components of the course, knowledge, skills, confidence, have to be present for the outcome to be. If any of this is missing, if they have the skills and they don't have the confidence, they may not be able to start anything, to start employment. So,
okay, questions? Any questions? Any questions?
why not?
None? Yes?
No, just a comment from our group. I'm just thinking about the assumption that there is an assumption that all the students have gone through the entrepreneurship course in school. So that is one of the things that might confound it, if there are any that haven't.
It is compulsory.
It's compulsory.
So universities now design their program such that you must take a module before you graduate. So we can safely assume that.
So before it sits this morning, at mid-morning, Ayo talked about
No, we are
the
selecting a cohort now.
mechanism or chain. And we say it can be direct, indirect, or complex. Okay? That is what I didn't see here.
Oh.
So if you have X here, how do these factors in between that form Z combine lead to Y? It is for you to think about. All right? All right?
Almost direct. Almost.
We told him to think about it, him and the group, to think about it. Because we will not solve it now if they didn't think about it. Okay, let's have this group.
Okay, good evening, sirs and mas. The proposed topic is assessment of mass media campaign to mobilize public support for government counter-terrorism initiatives in Nigeria. Of course, terrorism is a global challenge, and all nations of the world are working hard to counter it. Now, there is this approach to it, borrowing from health model, that categorizes the approach to counter-terrorism to 3 levels: the primary, the secondary, and the tertiary. The primary has to do with the community involving people. The secondary has to do with providing services to people that are likely to be involved. While the tertiary, and of course the most pronounced, is the direct confrontation with terrorists, especially military intervention. Now, as a proposed research in communication, our interest is in assessing how the mass media campaign has been able to really move people to take action, which is public support for, CVE is countering violent extremism. It's just another way of talking about counterterrorism. So my X, the causal factor, is The mass media campaign, why proposed is the action that the public will take to support. Now, the mechanism will be that when the mass media campaign messages are released, they will produce awareness of the CVE initiative of the government. Then it will lead people to take responsibility. In other words, seeing themselves as part of those people that should counter terrorism. And of course, it will move them to seek knowledge on how to counter terrorism. And then, of course, when they get the knowledge, because I was rushing, I missed out one, that they will know the options, the steps to take to counter terrorism, and then hopefully it will lead them to take action against terrorism. So I feel this is still in the initial stage of development, and I would like us to talk to it. Thank you.
This also notion is direct and conceptual. I don't know how they are working, the two of them. Did we talk about a direct causal notion?
No, it should be conjecture. Sorry. It's conjectural. It's conjectural. I'm sorry.
So forget about this. Forget about this and look at this. Delete this in your mind.
Okay.
Look at the last one. Though with a spelling problem, but it's okay. Aruna, you have a question?
No. We are the same.
I was wondering. So how does it become conjectural? Can you explain?
Okay. Well, I
What
think
did we say about such kind of notion?
they lead.
All the factors must combine to lead to a certain outcome. That's why we have the plus side, as opposed to the equifinality where we have independence. Right? Is that what the case is here?
Yes, that is what it is. They are leading to one another. Okay, I should use plus.
It's okay. If he understands that, then it's an issue of just representation. So it is fine. Any questions? Any questions about the causal and outcome factor? Now, as we go on from tomorrow, if you are able to sharpen your research question very well, then from your research question you can clearly capture the causal and the outcome factor. So the challenge that we might have now is because we are relying on topics in place of problems. Okay. So from tomorrow as we continue to sharpen, then it will be clear for you what is your causal factor, or what is your independent, and what is your outcome, or what is your dependent. All right? So do not feel under pressure for now. Okay.
Always pay attention to the assignment. There are three things required. The causal factor, the causal mechanism, and the outcome. So if you look at the presentation, what are those three things?
Okay. The causal factor is the mass media campaign. The outcome is the public support. Of course, public support for countering violent extremism. That is the outcome. That is why. Why? Becoming aware, taking responsibility, seeking knowledge, and of course, working through options, which I was rushing, I forgot, will be the mechanism.
So what you're saying is that if there is mass media campaign, people will become aware.
Yes.
And then they will take responsibility.
Yes.
And that will lead to knowledge seeking, which will lead to public support for
Yes, ma'am.
CVE. Yeah. That's what he's saying. That is his narration. And that is why I was asking that group that just presented, how can we see that sequence of issues so that we are able to understand what it is that you are connecting to what? Right? Because we say the arrow can never point, right? We say the arrow can never point backwards. Once you start seeing that the arrow is pointing backwards, then there is a problem. Okay? It can get more complex than this because this is an indirect chain. It can get complex and you have arrows, but they must always lead to the outcome, never pointing backwards. Okay?
So in this
There was
case,
a hand here.
yes, are you then suggesting that, for example, knowledge seeking would be as a result of awareness from the campaign before you take responsibility? That would be the logical sequence.
Yeah, because it's your taking responsibility.
Based on knowledge.
Yeah, based on knowledge.
So what they're asking you to think through is whether the seeking comes first before you take responsibility. And once you know here, now the arrow is seemingly pointing backwards, and then there is a problem. Okay? But remember, we have said that we have not gone to the field. We might not have enough background literature review. So it is how it is. This is hypothetical. But even from common sense, Irene can see that there is a problem with that arrangement.
Okay, well.
Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yeah,
Let's just appreciate.
All right. Good afternoon. For our group, I can see you have started smiling. We've already noted all the comments here already, but because we already prepared to present this, I believe you have a better version tomorrow. The topic we are presenting now is determinants of the under 5 years old children malnutrition statute in Uganda, a structural analysis of Ugandan educated and wealthy household. Is on the screen there. Okay. Determinants of the under 5 years old children malnutrition statute in Uganda, a structural analysis of Ugandan educated and wealthy household. We have our causal factors, many of them there. We actually, to be realistic, these were meant to be intermediate factors, but we're trying to shape the work as the lectures were going on and the corrections given to other groups. But the factors are there. We have maternal, reproductive, and health delivery. Okay, the causes, the mechanism, and this is our outcome. The outcome is childhood malnutrition statute. And then we said maternal, reproductive, and health delivery could cause malnutrition. We have access to medical care, presence of latrine in the community, especially the ones that are open and unkept, can cause diseases to the inhabitants of the community. And we also have level of crowding when the community is overcrowded, like that dump site we saw in Susan's video. We have maternal, the age of the mother, maternal age, the birth statute of the child will also cause malnutrition. The deworming statute, we have immunization statute, movement out of home for a long time, like up to a month. We have health insurance statute, employment statute of the parents. If they have a very busy occupation, it can cause malnutrition for the child. And then decision making. What do we eat for lunch, dinner, and breakfast, even though they are wealthy? And then we say mechanism. We are considering the Uganda National Malnutrition Policy of 2010 and also awareness campaign that despite the fact that this family could be the families we're considering are wealthy and educated family, They need to know, they need to learn nutrition, values. Nutrition. They need to be aware what make up a balanced diet. And by taking this campaign to them, we will help them to be aware, and then they can implement that in their homes. Thank you.
Let it remain there. And then we take comments. Yes.
Well, you did well. I'm looking at the causal factors. I think in research, you just be specific. 1, 2, 3. I don't know if you're going to study or you are going to do this thing and all this
In a single study.
as your from this topic, and you're going to research on all this and the cause of this. I think in a research, you just have to be specific, maybe 1, 2, 3. I don't know if that's just my observation.
So you can have more than 3, 4 independent variables. Yeah,
In this instance,
you can have up to 8.
8.
Yes.
Okay.
And that's why in this case, if they want to analyze this kind of research work, there's a mix of path analysis or social equation model to analyze using all these courses.
Please, let's not get lost. We are talking about a causal factor. We are not talking about dimensions of that concept that you're using or that factor that you're using. Because if they are talking about determinants, they can call them something. Socioeconomic determinants. And then we see what defines, right? So a causal factor is a causal factor. It's not the specifications of... So here we have a problem of clearly getting the causal factor and defining it well. Because what you see there are certain specifications that you might now want, that takes you even to the field to collect data. Is there access to, medical care? There we are at data level. We are not at the concept level. And this will become clear when we get to the third day, when we are talking about concept formation. How does that concept that you're using as your causal factor lead you to the field? All right? So something will be shaped here so that we have a very sharp question or a very sharp title of the study that then we can now say, this is my causal factor, this is my outcome. Under this causal factor, we have this specification. And that is what he's talking about. So let's move from where we imagine we can have 10 causal factors and worry about data level when we get there. Okay?
I think it's important for us to pay attention to those aspects of the assignment. The causal factor, mechanism, and the outcome is very clear. And there's a lot of talk about causal factors. Do you really think that these are causal mechanisms? The educational nutrition policy. I think it's a causal mechanism. Think carefully about it. Because again, as you progress and you begin to understand the nature of the kind of research you want to do. So for instance, I want to know if it's an experimental study or something different. Yeah, or is it a survey? I'm sure by the time you understand that, you clarify that, then you will know what should constitute your causal mechanism. But you know what a causal mechanism is. Think about what we have said today and reflect on that.
Thank you.
I think we should all think about that. To know whether what you have put in that position is really a causal mechanism. So if there are no comments, we can take it. Okay,
I have a question about the causal mechanism. When we are formulating all this, should we be thinking of the causal mechanism as the relationship between the causal factor and the outcome, or is it the intermediate
No.
factor that...
No, not intermediate factor. It's what explains the connection, what connects the causal factor.
What you're calling that relationship. Yeah.
Okay, so that means the mechanism is not actually the policy or the method you want to use.
No, it's not. Because you see, there's a relationship between causal factor and
Outcome.
So between the causal, no mechanism explains why or how.
Okay, how?
How does this cause this?
This.
That's the how question.
Okay.
So think carefully about it, and then you will come to some ideas.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Honest.
Looking at the title, I would all these betting mechanisms actually fall in this as
Yeah.
and then over there, they're talking about household wealth. So I'm looking at education status of the parent, income level, social class would be the mediating factors. Mechanisms.
Well, she will think through carefully, because if you look at the title, and you think carefully, you begin to, we'll clarify that as we progress. And then all of this will then reflect. But what I want you to do now is to continue to reflect on it and see, in terms of what we have discussed about what constitutes a causal mechanism, what does it do in your research? Remember, there's a connection between the causal factor and the outcome factor. But that connection, how does this affect you? That's what you want to explain. And it is the means of the causal mechanism. And when you just think about it, say, okay, if you are concerned about environmental and reproductive health delivery, as I don't know what you mean by structural factors, which are usually what we see here is educated and wealthy households. You understand? And that's supposed to be the causal factor and how they affect childhood nutrition. Then you begin to say between this and that, what are those explanations? What kind of behaviors? What kind of things happen between here and this to this here? That's the kind of thing you are thinking about.
And for the causal factor X, we have the different, which is teachers' communication styles is the cause. But the mechanism is the different communication styles that exist in the classroom. It could be teacher-student communication, student-teacher communication, or student-student communication. And then the outcome is improved learners' motivation. And the causal notion is equifinality because those three factors could act independently to affect the learner's motivation pattern in the class. That's all we have.
Okay, any comments? You can take us back to the beginning. Of the title. Oh, you want the other comment?
Yes, I have a comment. My comment was on the finality.
Okay.
I just have a feeling that the possible interaction between those factors.
When do you have equifinality?
Equifinality, when each factor can act independently to affect the outcome, we have equifinality. That's what I think, I don't know. And they can stand independently, or, they can also collectively affect it.
How many factors do you have here now?
Then now we have 3, sir.
Okay.
Well,
Yeah, because you have the causal factor, you have the causal mechanism, you have the outcome.
Don't go away too far. This will follow.
okay.
That's not the sense we use the analysis. Go back to the beginning again. Yeah, you are correct with your causal factor, teacher's communication part. Is it true?
Yeah,
Is that clear?
It's good to have debates or types. Those types of measurement.
Definitely, when we do concept formation, we look at that. But we agree that teacher's communication style is actually causal factor. So there's no question about that. Another question?
When you are saying student-student communication, and you are referring to teacher-student relationship.
Yes, I think
The last one.
it can influence how students
It's either teacher-student, to my mind, or student-teacher. But when it comes to student-students, I think it's a different ballgame.
Noted. Sir.
Like
The way the teacher communicates to the class determines how even the students communicate among themselves.
Even to some extent, what those students will tell the other students.
Let's put some order into our discussion. Let's put some order into our discussion. One by one, some order. What were you trying to say?
Even attention, student-student communication and interaction, we even change a particular student's perspective about a teacher, which will now determine how the students will now even communicate with the teacher.
Yes, you want to say something?
Yes, I want to say something. I want to say the cause of factors.
It's your work, be noting it.
Communication style.
That's right.
It's our work that
What is
presented.
I am not a guru in communication style, but I have done leadership. Let us say we are saying teachers' leadership style. So under mechanism, we should then have those styles. For instance, democratic style, laissez-faire style,
Yeah, we'll come to
autocratic style,
We'll come
under
to that.
mechanism, so that we will know that when we come to outcomes, we will say that if the teachers become autocratic and rigid, this is the outcome. If teachers become democratic, this is the outcome. But the styles in communication, I'm not sure if those are the styles.
Okay, let's hear you. I will make a comment again after that.
Going by what you just not too long ago defined as a causal mechanism.
Yes.
Is the how question to the relationship.
Absolutely.
Relationship between causal factor and outcome. I'm inclined to think that that's not a mechanism. They need to come up with something that connects the causal factor and the outcome without not the three.
Absolutely. So you need to think in that mode. What is it that opens up the relationship between the causal factor and the outcome factor? That's what you should be thinking about. And once you are able to reflect on that, and you may not get it immediately, but I think as we progress, it becomes even clearer and clearer. Because over time, for instance, the teacher's communication style will be unpacked. And when you get there, you now ask yourself, how does this, because again, you talk, now you have stated as improved learners' communication. In a sense, we have an idea of what you are talking about, an improvement in learners' motivation. So you ask between what the teacher's communication style is and the improvement, so what takes place around that? So that's what you should be thinking about. And I'm sure when you reflect deeply, you'll come up with some ideas.
Thank you.
Let's give them a round of applause.
Thank you.
Outcome factor is altered intrapersonal communication, and altered at this point is saying either improved or decreased intracommunal communication. And then our causal notion is path dependence. Thank you.
At least you have.
Oh, we are looking at we are proposing path dependence because we're going to look at what was before the violence interventions, what is now, and what it is currently.
Historical
Something like antecedents and coming forward from there.
Thank you. Can I be released from this prison?
We have questions. Dio says he has a lot of questions, and the questions are directed to the group, not to the presenter.
Beautiful.
Okay, let's begin. And we will do this for now. Tomorrow, from tomorrow, you will be choosing your own chair for the presentation. But for the sake of time, we will help with the moderation of this session. But from tomorrow, one of you is chairing the presentation. So you choose whoever is chairing. Okay? All right. The questions? Dio? Let's begin from here so that we move quick.
Thank you for the presentation.
Is the coastal outcome clear?
No.
Coastal factor, is it clear? Let's go back.
To the
Let's go back to.
We are confused about the next piece.
Okay, yeah. They need an explanation about the mechanism. Group members.
How do you come about this?
So we were considering the fact that we were considering the fact that we are looking at what influence. And as of now, we can't completely ascertain whether there is a cause. Do you understand? We can't completely ascertain for now. So that was why we want to first check an hypothesis to test whether the violence indeed caused altered intracommunal communication, whether positively or negatively. So that was why we felt hypothesis testing would be the easiest approach for now. Other things may be coming up as we get more facts.
All right.
Wait, isn't this the Indian example?
You said what?
Isn't this the Indian example?
Is this what?
The Indian example.
Not really. We are just looking at what could be around us. And that was why we selected a community that had experience of violent interventions at different points in time.
So this morning.
The topic, I go back.
This morning we say Z is the path, the mechanism.
Yeah.
Through which X travels for us to see the outcome. So what they want to understand is that path.
Okay, that path.
That it is not really.
Okay, okay. The reason we were not looking at that Z, there's so much uncertainties around the Z, and that's what this is set out to look at. Do you understand?
It's supposed to be
Hypothetical, yeah, kind of, yeah.
Because you have not engaged literature and you've not gone to the
Gone to the field, no.
That is what we expected to see in the presentation.
Okay.
Right?
All right.
What are those factors and how can we see the change of traveling from X to the outcome?
Yeah, okay,
right?
okay.
Okay, it's a trial. Any comments?
Well, I think it's a nice start. To get to that, we move on.
Okay.
So we've come to the end of day one presentation, and we are privileged to have some of our participants still with us. We are taking update from them, and we will be speaking to Rahila in the next few minutes to take her update and what happened in her class. You're welcome to your television, Rahila.
Thank you.
So tell us how you found day one. What were some of the exciting moments for you in your class?
Yeah. The day one has been successful. And I actually gained a lot because it was actually impactful. This section to me is very critical because research is my passion as a teacher and also a PhD student. For the D1, we actually look at critical imagination and causality in research. And I've learned so much because it has changed my perception. It has also given me a kind of broad view of research. It has changed what I came here with. The initial knowledge I had from the university where I'm coming from. And I'm glad that I'm here. I'm glad that I am a participant in this training because I can see that after now, I will be a refined researcher, and I am also ready to use whatever knowledge I'm getting here, first for myself, for my students, and everybody around me. And I'm also sure that after this training, my research study will have to change because my perception has changed.
Okay. Great. And so, because one of the key things that I heard participants saying was that after this training, they are going to really tear down their concept note that they brought. Is that your story also? Are you going to tear into pieces the concept note that you did before the training?
Yes. The concept note that I brought here, I have found a lot of fault in it from the online engagement we had. So I have started working on it. So I'm not going to tear it, but I'm going to modify it and make it more presentable and ready for the research.
Thank you so much for speaking to us, Rahila. We would get back to you in the course of the training and find out what you have gained. All right, this is Rahila, and she tells us she's not going to tear down her concept note, but rather modify it based on what she has heard and learned today. We are still taking updates from our participant. You're welcome to your television, sir.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Great. So you tell us your name, your university, and your position as well.
Okay, I am Adedayo Olofinyehun. I come from a research institute, not a university. It's called National Center for Technology Management. It's located in Ile-Ife within Obafemi Awolowo University, and I'm a researcher there.
So are you also going to tear down your concept note? Are you going to modify? Are you going to discard it? What are you going to do with your concept note after first day training?
Okay, for me, the case is unique because the concept note I prepared for this training is already fully set. It's actually a project that is already funded and we are about to commence. So it can change, but then for me, it's about how we proceed in the project that it really matters.
So based on day one knowledge, how would this knowledge be useful, in the entire project that you are going to do?
Yes, like I said before, the project is already set. Everything is set. But then, from what we've done today, it's helpful reimagining, like looking back on how the project was formed, the idea was formed, we went through all the processes, and we are where we are now. But what we've done today is going to be very helpful executing the project and going forward.
But if you are given the opportunity, would you still go back and then dismantle the project that is already set? Do you think there are some bolts that need to be tightened? Do you think there are some things that you need to put together and some that you need to take out?
Yes, we are researchers. It's a lifetime work. So this project isn't the final bus stop. Definitely there will be new ideas. Even a topic can be re-engineered and repackaged to look at another area where, needs be. So then the training is definitely still helpful. So I can even look at the same topic in a new dimension. Yeah.
Right. So what are your expectations? You are going to spend 14 days here. What are your expectations?
I'm looking forward to get state-of-the-art techniques in forming research questions, executing projects, doing evaluations, and all that package. I am an experienced researcher to some extent. I'm not a professor, but this is not the first time I'm doing this. But then I'm looking for state-of-the-art techniques. For me, it's about what is new now, what is pushing the boundaries now. I don't want to remain where I am. I need to get better. So that's my expectation. State-of-the-art techniques.
Thank you so much for speaking to us. We look forward to you having the state-of-the-art techniques and then also transforming research in Obafemi Awolowo, right? University. All right. Thank you so much. Great. So all too soon, we've come to the end of day one presentation. We have, it's been insightful and exciting listening to the various presentations being made by our facilitators. The contributions were so much exciting, and we have listened to the views of our participants as well. This is where we draw down the curtains for day one. Still keep on watching AU Television for the next few days that we spend in IITA. My name is Kwesi Sam. Thanks for watching.